Hello and welcome to the Killgerm podcast, the first one of 2020, and Happy New Year to you all. We've taken on board your suggestions and we're speaking today about ULV treatments, and to do that I have Brady Hudson with me. Brady is the Business Development Manager here at Killgerm. She's been at Killgerm for almost 3 years and has 14 years experience in the industry. And she's given a few talks and presentations on ULV already last year, so she certainly knows what she's talking about. So Brady, thank you for joining me today. We do hear a lot about ULV, but what actually is it?
ULV in short stands for Ultra Low Volume Application. In short, it is, as it is described, low volume output of product at an optimal droplet size. So you're using minimal preparation. It's been around for many years and originated as part of locust control in hotter countries.
So what's the benefit? Is it better economically?
Benefit to ULV is getting an extremely quick knockdown with a relatively small amount of product. As we know, pest control can often be a stress purchase, either by a commercial premises owner or a homeowner, and they may have suddenly a large cluster fly problem, a big fly problem, or perhaps even in the case of rental properties, landlords, there may be fleas involved from previous tenants. So you will get that quick knockdown, as I said, with the minimal amount of insecticide. With that optimal micron size of the particles produced, that also means faster re-entry for the premises owner.
So obviously you'll need ULV application equipment. Can you just use a standard Gloria sprayer, or is there specific ULV products?
Okay, I think most pest controllers own a Gloria sprayer or similar for other treatments. But that can be quite time consuming. Also with a typical sprayer, the micron size of the particle droplets are quite large and can provide either unpleasant odours or wetting of surfaces. And obviously onto that, the treatments can be quite time consuming. What would we recommend is the Exodus machine that's available through Killgerm. That has been a specifically designed piece of kit which runs on an optimal micron size of 15 microns, and it does large spaces very, very quickly.
So what's actually the benefit of the Exodus? Because I know it's quite pricey considering that most pest controllers already have a standard sprayer.
Yeah, I mean, the Exodus, it is a considered purchase. There are, of course, other options available from ULV, but the Exodus has been designed not only to deliver that optimal droplet size of 15 microns, which is consistent and has been tested so, but we've also got the very specific bottles for the machine on the preparation, such as the ULV 500, and, you know, they are specifically designed to clip on. So there's really minimal handling of product. The seals are already there, and obviously that reduces the risk in terms of operator exposure to product.
So what ULV products are actually available to go with the Exodus?
Okay, so for insecticides, we have got the ULV 500 and ULV 1500, which is specifically for use in aircraft. We also have Aquapie Micro. Most pest controllers are familiar with Aquapie, but we have the Aquapie Micro. The name Micro suggests, you know, it can be used with the Exodus, and that is in the specific bottle that can go onto the ULV machine, which is a water-based solution. Now, sometimes, you know, we have to offer water-based solutions depending on the environment. Just in addition to that, we also have the ULV disinfectant and PX odicide, which goes on as well. But we've had the odicide around for some time, but we've actually got it specifically formulated to go through the Exodus machine as well.
So where's ULV application actually suitable?
Okay, so ULV application is suitable for all space spraying. So that could be anything from loft spaces for clusterfly treatments, or for room spaces, maybe where a flea infestation is evident and you need to get a quick knockdown. So, for example, landlords, private letting agencies, that sort of thing. You know, if they've had tenants in with pets and there is evidence of flea infestations, it's an ideal piece of kit to be used in that situation. They can also be used in waste sites for fly control. You know, that's a very common problem, can be quite lucrative for the pest controller. They can also be used on farm. The label is, as I touched on before, fairly broad spectrum. So perhaps where there's mite and flies on farm, poultry houses, that sort of thing, can be used in there, obviously providing the label is adhered to.
So it all sounds great, but how does it actually benefit the pest controller?
Okay, pest controllers are obviously very cautious about, their spend on prep and what's that is relatively small to their business turnover. You're using a very small amount of product for a typical spray spray, so that can prove very cost effective while maximising their profits. Just in addition to that, really, a pest controller can do great upsells with this product, so it's not just about insect knockdowns as well, but perhaps if they're doing rodent jobs on commercial or certainly domestic premises, you could use the Exodus and add a small up service as an opportunity for profit. Perhaps you might suggest to your clients as pest controllers, that if they've done a rodent treatment, that the homeowner or the commercial premises owner could benefit from a disinfection treatment. It takes the same amount of time and the treatments themselves are clearly mapped out. But just a small quick blast of ULV disinfectant would just offer that little bit of peace of mind. And perhaps they could also benefit from approaching letting agents and private landlords. Very often, some private rental properties are left in pretty bad condition. Maybe there's been a heavy smoker, again with hotel rooms that have perhaps, had a smoker in there. An odoricide treatment would do the trick, absolutely. Again, it's all about just thinking a little bit outside the box for the pest controller and using that as an upsell for that.
Yeah, so it's not just a case of get your insecticide down. There is chance for extra profit and extra work there, really.
Absolutely. It's very difficult. Pest controllers are often, very guarded about what they charge for a treatment. But I think, if somebody was approaching a letting agent, for example, I know certainly a lot of pest controllers offer cleansing services. They could certainly charge for perhaps an odoricide treatment, just sort of guarantee that the property is fit for the next inhabitant, so to speak.
So you spoke about using less product and obviously saving money that way, but how do you actually work out how much product you need?
Okay, so it's a couple of calculations that you need to do. First of all, you need to work out the volume of the area you're going to be treating. So, for example, if we take a room, for argument's sake, it's 160 cubic metres. That has come off my presentation slides. So we're just going to take for the purposes of this podcast, we've got 160 cubic metres of space to be treated. So what we need to do then is we need to work out how much prep we require in millilitres. So what we're going to do is take our space area, 160 cubic metres, times that by 100 and divide it by 1,000. That's going to give us the amount of preparation that we're going to need in millilitres. Okay, so we know then that is 16 millilitres. That's 160 cubic metres times by 100 divided by 1,000. So then we need to know how long the machine needs to run for. The Exodus delivers 36 millilitres every 60 seconds. So our infested space only needs 16. So if we take our 16 millilitres, times that by 60 seconds, so times by 60, and divide that by 36, which is the amount required, the amount the machine puts out every 60 seconds, that gives us an answer of 26. So in the case of our warehouse, the answer is 26 seconds of runtime.
That does seem like a lot of working out, though. Can it be done any easier?
Well, essentially, yes, is the answer to that. What you would need to do is actually get your room size. So you do need to do a little bit of measurements for room size. So that's your width times the length times the height. That gives you your space in cubic metres. Here at Killgerm, we do have a ready reckoner, and that's in the instructions for use on the Exodus ULV. We have those widely available in the office, so if you need one, please give customer services a shout. But that has got your room size and then how long you would need to run your equipment for and how much insecticide is needed for that. So there is a bit of a ready reckoner. More often than not, I hear pest controllers who will have just put it on and guessed that, more often than not, they're using more product than they actually need to. So please do take a look at the instructions for use, and there is a guide on there. It doesn't have everything, but it will give you some useful information. It also goes into detail about the calculation as well, just so it makes it clear. It's hard to really portray that over a podcast, but it does help you quite a lot in terms of the how to, and as I mentioned, and it also works out your actual cost as well per treatment. So where you're using, if we're using the case of our warehouse, the cost of that treatment is actually only about £1.25 of product. So it is pretty cost effective.
Yeah, so your profit margin will be high there, and I suppose even if you didn't want to do all that, you could just get your phone out of your pocket and go on your calculator. You'll soon work it out.
Absolutely. And if people are a little bit nervous about using the ULV machine, please do call up and get one of the area sales managers out. The guys have all got them, so if you wanted to sort of try before you buy, so to speak, we could do that, and essentially you'd get paid for having equipment that's not your own. So we could certainly do that. That's not an issue.
That is very helpful. I think that takes away some of that anxiety as well that people will have about buying a new product that's quite innovative but quite different to what they're used to. So, thank you for joining me today, Brady. If you're wanting to see the Exodus or have a chat about it with your area sales manager, then keep an eye on our website for the next breakfast meeting or workshop near you. For January, we have the MPTA workshop in Manchester that Killgerm are sponsoring on the 15th. And then for breakfast meetings, we have Durham on the 22nd, Hull the day after on the 23rd, and then the week after that, we've got Nottingham on the 29th. If you go into the Manchester, Durham or Hull events, then you will meet Rob Simpson, who is the brand new area sales manager for the entire north of England. The basis prompt code for this episode of the Killgerm podcast is BH-ULV-0120. That's BH-ULV-0120. For full instructions on how to claim your CPD points for both basis prompt and the BPCA, just head over to one of the first 2 Killgerm podcasts where I explain in full. Now, for those of you with particular good attention to detail, you will have realised that at the end of the last podcast, the emergency FICAM W podcast, I said that the next one would be a bird control special. But with the amount of suggestions that were coming in for us to speak about ULV treatments, we thought we'd sort of fast track this one and put it in for the first one of the year. But I promise you, next time, at the start of February, we will have that bird control special for you with Alistair Fernie. See you then.